Michelle. Man, I'm glad to see you guys. I feel like I haven't done live in forever, and I don't know when the last time I did live was. It feels like months and months, but I'm really happy to be here today. Glad you guys are tuning in. We're talking Thanksgiving today. Gobble gobble. I cannot believe it is next week. How did that happen? I'm still trying to figure out daylight savings time, and now I have to cook a turkey.
I'm still at Halloween.
Yeah, we still have a lot of candy. We had no trick-or-treaters, but we had lots of candy, and we still have a lot of candy left. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to eat that candy. Darn it. Darn it. But today, no candy. Maybe eye candy. I hope you find it to be eye candy. We are talking Thanksgiving. I am going to focus on your table, or your buffet, or your celebration, or perhaps mine. Who knows? We'll see how they turn out and whether I want to repeat it for my Thanksgiving. But I'm going to do something traditional, something a little more contemporary, and then hopefully something a little unexpected. So, while I grab my first container, those of you that are chiming in, tulips, put your little tulip in there. Remember to tell us where you live, where you're from, where you're calling in from. If you are a first timer, let us know, okay? Because the tulips are super friendly, and they will make you feel welcome, and we're really glad you're here. So I'm gonna grab that container.
They are starting to be here. Evidently, they are ready for Thanksgiving. I don't even have all the names yet, but I see all this stuff going through my feed already. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're ahead of us, Michelle.
Well,
uh-oh.
Story of my life, I don't know about yours, but lately I just seem to be a day late and a dollar short for all of the holidays. Again, except for Halloween. I was prepared. I had candy, and I had the little bags of snack chips, because we put them in our lunches at home, but had those and not a trick-or-treater. So, fie on you trick-or-treaters. I'm moving on to the next holiday. So, I want to start with something fairly traditional, a horn of plenty, or a cornucopia. I was kind of surprised, but there were seven, had to count my fingers for a second, 7 different kinds of cornucopia to choose from at my wholesaler. Could not believe it. I was really blown away. The last couple years, I really haven't seen them, but I think we're starting to see that kind of return to tradition. We get that cycle, right? Everything is cyclical. And I was kind of tickled because last year I made my own cornucopia, and actually there is a tutorial. If you are in the Flower Lovers Club, you can go to that and you could make your own cornucopia out of rustic wire. I take you step by step through it. It's actually kind of cute, and it's a great project to do with kids if you want to forage for some of the materials. So there's that. But this first one's going to be pretty traditional, right out of Better Homes and Gardens magazine, you know, that kind of thing. Do we have anybody saying hi yet?
We do. You've got Sherry, Scott, Renee, Denise, Gio, and Robin.
Excellent.
And Drake is with you on his birthday, getting ready to go celebrate.
Drake! Oh my gosh! 29 again, my dear. Happy birthday to you. Oh my goodness. Just go have the best time. Birthdays are so fun. I firmly believe once you hit a certain age, and you can pick your own age for that you should start celebrating one day for every year.
Works for me.
Works for me too. I adopted that about, 10 years, 15 years ago. So in our family, if you're 82 years old, we start celebrating for 82 days. And you can break that up however you want. So ladies, if you see those shoes and your birthday's not for a month, just say, kick it off birthday, and buy the shoes. Tips for Michelle.
Good tip.
Good tips. Yeah. Well, Leanne and I have been on a shoe buying binge the last couple of weeks, so I'm certain I have more days till my. I have more days to my birthday than I will be old. So I'll call them an early Christmas present. How's that? That works. Well, I don't know who all has chimed in yet, but if my Aunt Leslie in Georgia is on. Thank you for tuning in today. Hope you guys are having a good dinner. She texted me earlier and said, I'm going to have dinner with you tonight. And I'm thinking, you just left a month ago. Why are you coming back? But she meant eat dinner while I'm on. So I thought that was very sweet. So I'm just working with some Oregonia here.
Could it be Leslie with a C for a last name?
Nope, last name would be R.
Okay.
But she may chime in later. Who knows? If not, she'll catch me on the replay and I will just talk about her until she chimes in and says hi.
We have a whole mess. I don't remember where I stopped or started, but Denise, Gio, Robin, Gabriel, Harvey, Roxy, Christine, Heidi, Leslie, Samara, Julie, Valerie, Vanessa, and I'm not even halfway through.
Well, my goodness.
You've got a crowd.
Excellent. Well,
And they're
thanks
from all
to
over. I just saw Brazil had popped up.
Holy cow.
And
Well,
Sweden.
Tess from Sweden, is she on today?
Yeah.
Nice. Hi, Tess. I love Oregonia. It is such a versatile foliage.
And Sheridan, Oregon.
And Sheridan. Well, yeehaw for Sheridan. Thanks for joining in, Yamhill County. I always talk in class about those foliages that I feel have a lot of leg to them, as in they just have a long life or a lot of versatility. Oregonia for me is one of those. In big arrangements, you can use it like this, completely intact. I can break it down as I'm doing here into smaller pieces. And then if you're doing personals, if you're doing body flowers, these little bits, little side bits are fabulous. Their leaves are so detailed and textural and interesting. They're wonderful for work on personals, whether you're wiring and taping or you're gluing, either way. Before I get too far into this, I wanted to point out, I did not tape my foam into my liner. I wired my foam and the liner to the basket. I did that because I felt it was easier to hide a taped wire on the side than it would be to disguise tape on that plastic liner. Plus then that plastic liner could just slide right out of the cornucopia. But as I do this, I'm like, please don't fall out. It's not gonna fall out, although I am making a mess with water. So there's that. But it will not fall out. So Earl, the delivery driver, will not succeed in ruining my day. So adding just a few more pieces of this in. While I do that, I have a question for all of you out there in TV land. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? You can share a recipe if you want to. I would be delighted if you shared a recipe. But what is your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving? I'm going to say turkey is a given, so second favorite if turkey is your favorite. But what do you look forward to at Thanksgiving on your table? I know what I like on my table, but I want to hear what you guys like. Plus, I'm going to be cooking some Thanksgiving dinners, and I'd like some inspiration, so it's self-serving if you have to know. All right. Following Leanne's rule of 3, I want to tuck in a little additional foliage. So I'm living in the Northwest right now with this beautiful salal. We're in class right now. They're in our last advanced course of the year, which has been an absolute hoot. It's been a great bunch of ladies, and we've had just a wonderful time. It's only Wednesday, but we've just had a wonderful week. And we've got some out-of-towners. We've got 2 locals, and we have a couple out-of-towners as well. And they're just amazed at the fall color. One of the gals is from San Diego, and she's, every time we're outside, some tree has turned a different color, and she's just losing her mind with all the foliage. And then we talk about all the different varieties of materials that we're working with in our arrangements, and half of them just come out of the hills around us in general. So it's all very local material, which we know we're spoiled, we're aware of that, but sometimes we forget until somebody from out of town comes and says, wow, look at all that amazing stuff you have. So with that in mind, I'll tuck in something we don't have growing locally, Israeli ruscus, because I can. Has a little different shape, leaf. It has just a little different color green. And waste not, want not. I'll tuck those little bits in as well. Excuse me, I have a tickle. it's been a busy day around FDI today. We've done filming, we've done teaching, we've done live, or we're doing live, I guess I should say. And Leanne's been doing all of her planning for the rest of the year. He's too tall. Rest of the year and leading into next year. And we suddenly realized Thanksgiving is next week. And then it's December, and then the year is over. So we were having a slight panic attack right before live started that the year is rapidly coming to a close. So with this more traditional look, I'm going to focus mostly on the mums, carnations, the kind of flowers that if you were going to make this for yourself, you could easily source at your local flower seller. And not make it so exotic that you're like, great, Michelle, can't get those where we are. But I'm pretty sure everything I work with, plus or minus, you can find either it or something very, very similar. So I want a few of these beautiful sunflowers. Aren't those gorgeous? I'm not a sunflower girl, if I'm 100% honest. But I do like these. There's something about them that speaks to me. Don't know what that is, but I like them. So I'm just looking at their faces, kind of checking out the stems, seeing how they're going to lay out. And they've got some honking stems on them, that's for sure. So Drake, what are you doing fun for your birthday? Are you going somewhere? Are you staying in town? It's Thursday, so that we're winning.
He's out for a drag night.
Oh, fun! Well, I thoroughly expect to see pictures tomorrow.
If there's no pictures, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. That's right. And sometimes even if there are pictures, we might deny that it happened anyhow. So I'm just tucking these sunflowers in here to give me some base color. I think I'll just work with the trio of them. Use them to anchor my design. Whoop. A little aggressive on that cut there. Get my knife out of the way for just a minute because I need both hands to push them in. All right, so I've got those tucked in. Ricky, am I far enough back? Is that showing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to design on the angle, so if this side looks bad, can't really help you at this point. So I also want to work with a few of these lovely rust cushion palms. And I have a little bit of tinted solidago or solidaster. Yeah, a little bit, not a lot. I just want a couple of stems of it, and a couple with Michelle Math might mean 3, maybe 2, we'll see. Just want a little bit of it. And then I went out in my field on the farmette this last summer because I was picking out some, well, let me strip the whole thing because it's going to make a mess otherwise. I was picking out some dried grasses to use in a summer wedding. So I just went out in the field and went along the perimeter and gathered these grasses. And amazingly, they are holding. They have not started to shed yet. And I have not hairsprayed them. I have done nothing to them. They're just holding beautifully. And then the other item that just popped in my yard, I have big clumps of grasses, and we use them around here frequently, but I rarely actually get to use the tassels on my tassel grass because they seem to pop around in December 12th for some reason, and nobody really cares about dried materials at that point. It's all evergreens all the time. So I was really excited, one, because I love the texture on these. I just love the airy softness that they bring to an arrangement, but I also love the fact that it helped connect this color, this kind of brown, dried look with the cornucopia. It helps carry that on through the design, which if you went to flower school would know that helps with what in my design. Type it in there. Tell me what that is helping with.
Well, you do have quite a few students with you today.
Oh, good.
They are crazy busy with the holiday.
Excellent.
Mary's getting ready for a show, getting things done. A lot of people are working on wreaths as we go along. I haven't seen anybody saying they're working on Thanksgiving because it is a little early for that, but it's much more Christmas prep going on at the moment.
Good.
Yeah.
I love it, Tulips. You're smart. You're planning ahead. Do those things ahead that you can. That makes you more productive during crunch times, and more productive can often mean more profitable because, you know, we do not like starving florists around here. It is not a good look for any of us. And like I tell the class, I don't want to see you as a greeter at Walmart because you didn't learn your pricing modules. So there's that.
They are loving those sunflowers. If you turn the cornucopia, just there we go, so they
Yes.
can see them a little bit more. They are loving that. So that's a
Good.
better angle for you. So keep that angle.
I can't because it's not sitting on the table. That's why I have to design this way. I can do it, but I only have one hand at that point. But I'll turn it around every now and then so you guys can get the full front
But they thought
view.
the sunflowers might be artificial.
They are not. They are fresh. These are actually a week old, to be honest with you, and they are holding beautifully. Sometimes the back gets a little funky and crispy, or you start to lose the petals. I'm seeing just maybe one or two on a couple of them that the petals look a little less than perfect. But again, that's the cool thing with sunflowers, right? If it's not 100% perfect, what can we do to them? We can detach, right? So I could come in here and get rid of those petals, and I still have a wonderful form. I still have this cool, kind of reminds me of the, is it Monsters Inc? Isn't one of the monsters have an eyeball like this or something? But anyhow, reminds me of a Disney cartoon character of some kind. So we'll just tuck him in here up at the top. Add just a little bit more texture. He's a little too tall for my taste. I'm gonna tuck him deeper. So do we have any answers to what everybody's favorite Thanksgiving dish is to see on the tables?
You know, I've got a lot of stuffing, chestnut stuffing, turkey dressing, that type of thing. But the thing that's coming up a lot is pies, mincemeat, chocolate, pumpkin, cranberry, and pecan.
Oh, we got some Southerners out there with your pecan pie. Nice.
And then butternut squash, and somebody is going for the traditional turkey with cranberries.
Okay, excellent.
Sweet potato casserole, one of my favorite people already, mashed potatoes.
Yes.
And then I just learned something about Ricky, green bean casserole. No
Yay!
way!
Ricky is my
I'm
best
a green
friend.
bean casserole person.
I love green bean
I
casserole.
make fun of green bean casserole.
She does. Leanne's evil to us at Thanksgiving. She mocks the bean. No, I am so delighted that there's another green bean casserole lover. There's just something, it's comfort food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something about that mushroom soup, the crunchy French's onions on the top. I don't know. I have to have it. I don't care how fancy I'm setting the table, that green bean casserole is going to be on it. Might be in a really pretty bowl, but it's still green bean casserole.
You know, I have a picture somewhere in my phone of my grocery store was selling pre-packed plastic bags of a can of green beans, a can of mushroom soup,
Yeah.
a can of the little onion thingies, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
It's the best dish.
It is delicious. You gotta have green bean casserole. It's a must-have. Oh, whoopsie! I got a little aggressive on that bottom sunflower. My bad. I broke him.
Oh well.
Oh well. We'll just hide it with something else. Well, how about we tuck a little bit of this tinted solidago in there? I love how just some of it has a kiss of color, and it makes the leaves get really funky. So I'm gonna get rid of those leaves. So Thanksgiving this year, we've got a lot of running around to do. So I decided we're just doing Thanksgiving at our house. I have, well, that's Thanksgiving number one. Doing a turkey at our house for my husband and myself.
Whoa!
And it will likely be a very large turkey because that's all I have in my freezer are giant turkeys. So it's going to be a very large turkey at our house. And then we're headed over to my sister-in-law's in Bend for secondsies Thanksgiving. And we're doing that on Saturday. And I'm taking the turkey then, but I'm taking a much smaller turkey. It'll probably be an 11 or 12 pound turkey versus the 22-pound turkey I'm gonna cook for Doug and me. And there'll only be 4 of us at my sister-in-law's, so it's still not like we're going to have 1,000 people coming to eat Thanksgiving dinner. But you know what? Leftovers. That's all I have to say.
I love leftovers on Thanksgiving. That's the favorite part.
It is. And that's the worst part, I think, about going to someone else's house for Thanksgiving, is there are no leftovers. It's not the same when they send you home with the, you know, the little to-go box, the little leftovers box. It just doesn't work. I want to go out and hack on that big bird and make a cranberry turkey stuffing cream cheese sandwich. Do you guys do that?
Oh, yeah.
That's the best. That is the bestest.
So Pamela is disappointed they don't have Thanksgiving in the UK, which
Oh.
I can remember when my girlfriend was living there for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I flew over just to spend Thanksgiving with her because they don't do it. And she was so sad.
Yeah, I guess I mean, it makes sense. It's an American holiday. Although Canada has Thanksgiving, they've already had theirs. It doesn't line up with ours. But yeah, I think I would find a reason just to make a turkey and eat it myself, or at least, at a very minimum, go get a turkey sandwich somewhere.
So, just in case you guys need to know, according to Robin, when you make your green bean casserole, you must use frozen beans, not canned beans. It's much better.
The canned beans get too squishy, too soft.
Yeah, yep. Because you're cooking them twice,
So I'm
whereas
talking to the
beans.
I
Yep.
am talking to the experts here. Okay.
Yep, that is correct. Thank you, Robin, for reminding those people who diss the green bean casserole. Yeah, because frozen green beans are flash frozen, so they don't have that cooking aspect to it. But if you do canned, they've already been cooked once, so now you're putting them in and cooking them again, and they're all smushy mushy. And
So my store was bagging the wrong products, but it would be hard to put a bag of frozen green beans on the shelf, probably.
absolutely, absolutely. So there I added in a little bit of that
Do you want to hold it up just a little
fountain grass. I can.
Beautiful.
Like I can do my best Vanna.
As it runs water all
Yes.
As
over.
it drips all over my foot, but that's okay, you know, Mother Nature. It cleans up.
It's just water.
It's just water. Maybe I'll just.
That is so beautiful.
I love those sunflowers. And again, like I said, I am not a sunflower girl, but I do like those sunflowers. And I pilfered out of something out in the classroom because I wanted these gorgeous kind of honey-colored hypericum. They have just that kiss of golden tan on their tips. And I thought, what a lovely little texture, just to add in a few of them. I don't need a lot, but I liked the berry aspect of them, made them, gave me that cranberry vibe, if you will. Yes, I know they're not cranberry colored, but I was going for the form, the roundness, the berryness, the berryness of them, something like that. So I just want to tuck a couple in here, get a little additional texture.
Oh, so we have lots of gravy, people, and you need to brine your turkey overnight, just so you know.
Oh, okay. I have done that when we've deep fried a turkey, but I have not done it otherwise. I have not done it as just part of my regular turkey cooking routine.
And on your green bean casserole, I mean, that is a thing. Obviously, I am a failure. You gotta add a touch of soy sauce.
Yeah, yep. Soy and or Worcestershire, either one. I like the soy because it's got that umami.
Salty.
Yeah, it's a little saltier, a little because you know we don't have enough sodium in everything else on the table. But
I
yeah,
was like, oh my gosh, what have I missed out on?
who knew there was an art form to the green bean casserole?
I know.
Right?
Okay, so does everybody put marshmallows on their sweet potatoes?
We do some with and some without.
I hate marshmallows on sweet potatoes. Oh my gosh.
No. My sister-in-law is
Okay, now I'm
making-
gonna have the marshmallow sweet potato haters on here to
Yeah,
go with
well, I mean, we
green
can't wait
bean
for
peoples. Okay, come on, people. Which are they?
All right, so I'm gonna slide the Horn of Plenty out of the way.
Lisa did green bean casserole from scratch because she had some guests that were gluten-free and dairy-free, and then they didn't show up, but it was the best thing she'd ever made.
Okay, that might make me just a tad cranky. So we've talked about what you love, and Leanne kicked off part of the hate. What do you hate for Thanksgiving? And I maybe hate's a strong word. What do you not like to eat or see on the Thanksgiving table? Obviously, if you're cooking, you get to choose, but when you show up and you're like, I have to eat blank, fill in the blank, what is that? I know what mine is. But I also just kind of like all food, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. Oh, I'm throwing things around over here.
Your feathers are flying away.
I've not only ruffled my feathers are flying. So this next piece, I want to do something a little more contemporary. I want to have a little fun, play with my food, if you will. And I've said on many occasions, if I can put feathers in it or glitter, I'm a happy girl, right? So I have some cool sprays that are pheasant feathers, and these are actual pheasant feathers. There's a mix of just, chicken feathers, I'm gonna say Plymouth. There's some ostrich, just a little assortment of feathers, and I wanted to work these into a couple of my pieces. Just because I think they're beautiful, and for some reason, it makes me think of hunting season and pheasant hunting and the dried grasses, so it all kind of ties in together in my brain. Don't know if it does in anybody else's, but it does in mine. And I'm going to pull from this palette over here, this very bright, non-traditional fall palette. We see it carrying over from Halloween. Classic Halloween is your oranges and your blacks, right? And then the more contemporary Halloween is purple, orange, and citrus green, or an apple green, or chartreuse green. And we're seeing that color palette transition into fall as well. Obviously, it's contemporary. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. But I wanted to try something different, so that's why we're doing it today. So let me know if anybody's chiming in with their least favorite thing to see at Thanksgiving, while I grab a few bits of beauty over here.
The oddity is there are people who don't like turkey. I think I think that's illegal. If not immoral, I mean,
Right.
oh my
It's
God.
not immoral, but it borders on illegal, I would agree. It is rich, I will give you that. And I don't know. I don't think I could do a chicken for Thanksgiving. I think I'd have to do like a turkey breast if I didn't want very much. But,
And then some
Interesting.
don't like cranberry sauce, which I get.
yeah.
And Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
And another illegal one, mac
Yeah.
and cheese. How can you not like mac and cheese? Oh
I
my
don't think it fits Thanksgiving dinner.
No, I
It's
don't
always
have
just
to
too heavy.
You're not Southern, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's true. So that would be very regional at that point, I would agree. For me, mac and cheese would be not really needed.
Ooh, Scott doesn't put mushrooms in his green bean casserole. Is that sinful?
That's
Well, you make it-
illegal.
That's illegal?
Yeah, you make it with mushroom soup, Scott. How?
Right.
How? Explain that.
Cream of mushroom is a requirement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't fake some of those ingredients. All right, so what I'm doing here is, again, I said it's going to be a little more contemporary. I'm going to group my materials and work in a mostly vertical fashion. It's a linear design, probably not centerpiecey, obviously. unless your dining room is much grander than mine, this would not be centerpiece material, but it definitely could work on the buffet if you do your Thanksgiving buffet, or if you have a kitchen island, or it would work in an entryway, something like that. It would be perfectly fine. And these blue delphiniums have just been calling to me this week. And I said, all right, you must come to my party. You must come with me to my party.
So Scott makes his very own white sauce.
Oh, show off. Okay, fine.
And then
we still
have-
need mushrooms.
We have Jell-O haters
Jello.
and tomato aspic, which I think is Jell-O basically too.
I'm with you on that. It's not a fave. Definitely not a fave. Not a fave with the Jello. And then I'm going to come in with some of these liatris. Whoop. Well, there he is. He's going to be right there since he went down a little farther than I had intended. I do have foam in this container, obviously, and water, and I have built it up in the bottom with some chunks. With some chunks of foam rather than waste a brand new piece. We always have a bucket of trim here in the classroom where when we're making something a little bit smaller, we've shaved off on our foam and we try and save that. Just a good habit to get into. Plus, you know, you might need that little bit of foam down the way. Ooh.
So our East Coast people are at 6:30 and saying, will you quit talking about food? They're hungry.
Now we're hungry too. We're not hangry yet, but we are definitely hungry. All right, get this last little liatris in here. So Ricky, what's your least favorite Thanksgiving dish?
It's also my least favorite all around, but ham. I really don't like ham.
Who would have ham at Thanksgiving? That's not right.
My family sometimes does like a turkey and a ham, just
Oh.
because there's too many of us.
To defer a turkey.
Yeah,
You should be at my house because I have a 22-pounder.
there we go.
You got a lot for everybody at that point.
My family always did turkey, ham, and salmon.
Oh, see, I'd be okay with salmon, but I
But
don't.
it's like, yeah, the ham doesn't really work for Thanksgiving.
It seems out of place to me. The ham to me is Easter or Christmas, a Christmas ham, if you will. Now I want to add in a little bit of the ilex berries. These are just so fantastic. It feels like we have had a year for beautiful ilex, and I don't want. I'm going to take every piece out of the container. I don't want it to be a massive amount. I just want some of that bright yellow-orange coming up into the middle of the arrangement. Ooh, that's a tough stem. All right. So as I work through this design, anybody have an idea of my color harmony that I'm going to create? I'm blocking some of the flowers over here, but do you remember what was on this side? Kind of what my color harmony was? Or at least what I had to pull from, I guess I should say. I'll give you a minute to figure that out and play with it. So I'm staying really quite vertical in the container. I'll have a little bit of extension down here on the sides, but mostly I'm going up and down. Again, thinking if it's an entry table bouquet or on a kitchen island or your buffet, you usually have some ceiling height you can deal with, and that gets it up out of the food service area, which I also like as well. Sometimes a low arrangement is in the way of actually getting the food onto your plate, and getting that color up a little bit is a bonus. All right, so I'll get these delphinium out of the way. Leanne, what's your least favorite Thanksgiving item?
You know, I don't have an absolute least favorite, although I guess if I had to pick a least favorite, it'd be the marshmallows on the sweet potatoes, which I will be honest, I have never, ever, ever, ever tasted.
Okay, so you don't like it even though you've never had it. Oh, busted on that.
Yeah. But it's like, that's just the grossest thought. Why would you put marshmallows on a potato?
You get the sweet and savory.
The sweet and savory part, I get that.
Because I do like sweet potatoes.
I like sweet potatoes and I like marshmallows. I'm just not a big fan of them together, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just the ratio was wrong. Too many marshmallows to sweet potatoes or vice versa. Maybe I need to give it a try again. I know my sister-in-law is doing bourbon glazed sweet potatoes. I don't think it has marshmallows on it. I could be wrong.
That sounds like a carrot dish.
Kind of does, yeah. So I'm interested to try that. You know, when you're a guest, you just eat what's put on your plate and say thank you. So we'll see.
Not me.
We'll see how it goes. So if you invite Leanne, she's going to tell you she doesn't like it. Just be prepared for that. So I folded those aspidistra leaves, kind of did a layer on them. Let me grab another one. I gave it a cut.
Oh, we have discussion of white or dark.
Oh, neat, both. So I'm folding it, and then I fold it back up on itself, so I'm poking through those two layers. It gives me a smaller loop at the top, and then if you kind of stagger them and give them a little pull, it looks like this funky, cool ribbon treatment. So I'll do that on this one, maybe. Pull him through, and you get that little roll, and you get a little coverage in the back when you're inserting it in, and then you get that nice roll out on the leaf. So I can use it to carry my line through on the back side. Give me a little more. There's front for you guys, or front for you guys. Ricky always says, how tall are you gonna go? And I say, oh, not too tall. And then we get in here and she's like, that doesn't fit on the camera. So she'll get amazing photos for you tomorrow, as she always does. So you can actually see the whole arrangement at one time. So now I'm grabbing a few of these amazing orange roses. And again, I went shopping in the warehouse and the cooler and the classroom and found this gorgeous, I'm not even gonna call it tinted, it's painted Israeli ruscus, and it is orange. It is, don't know if it's gonna read on camera, it is almost the same color as those roses, which I thought was just fantastic. Just a fun, playful thing to do. This is not my classic arrangement, this is my fun contemporary one. So I kind of feel like so long as I hit my E's and P's and cover my mechanics, I can have a little fun with it. Don't you guys agree? I think so.
That is beautiful together.
These roses were just so beautiful and so full and open. All right, dude, get in there where I want you to go. If you've had me in class, you know I talk to the flowers. And by talk, I mean I yell at them on occasion when they don't do what I think that they should do. But that's all right. So I'm going to group a couple in the front and then pull one around to the back side here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That orange with those blue. Love that color combination. And then I think I'll put another one. Decisions. Nope. I'm going to put one more in the back just to pull the eye all the way around, all the way through. You're really not going to see it in the back as much as you're going to feel it. There's your front. It's just a continuation of this one here. I've really got it tucked down low to the foam. It's sitting on the foam itself. And I adjusted where I was going to put him because I forgot that I also had one of my favorite flowers and Gerber daisies. Cresspetti are the favorites, of course. Of course. So I'm going to work with these like little bistro tables, and I want, he's got a great line on him, and there's another one with a fun little line.
So we aren't getting a lot of replies to your color harmony. Flip it around so they can see the front again, and maybe they'll come up with it, and let's see if somebody gets it. I've had 2 people come, but that's it. And then Kenny has decided he does dark meat for eating on Thanksgiving Day, but white meat for his turkey salad sandwiches and leftovers. And he wants to know, what the heck are you doing with him not in class now? He must be so boring.
Bored as heck, that's what I'm doing. There's nobody to rib. I have to be very nice. We have all ladies. I can't pick on anybody. All right, so I've got all the colors in my palette up here. Okay. Take a look at it. Break out your books. Take a look at it. Think about it. But that's where I'm headed with my color palette. And that should give you everything you need to know with those, spinning those around there. Oh, these stems. You know, normally we want gerbs to have a perfectly straight stem or a mostly straight stem. I want sturdy stems, but I also love just a little bit of an angle, because look at that. Kind of swoops out of the arrangement there, so I get those 2 together, and then I want to tuck one down low here in the front, just to pull. Oh, I don't know if I can get another one in there. I will try. We will try it. But I want this little guy right down in the front, just coming out at you to say hi. Tuck him under those roses if I can. So he's kind of peeking out. Yep. And then I want to tuck one more right in there, just to pull the eye down and through. So it kind of swoops down through and hits those roses and gerbs down in the center area. Oh yeah, I think it'll work. We're gonna make it work. All right, the Alex berries are flying. They are flying off at every direction back here, attacking me. That's okay. I'm okay with them attacking me. They're pretty. They can.
So are people on the international side that don't do Thanksgiving, their big meal is their Christmas dinner.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Which we do Christmas dinners here too, but I always think of Thanksgiving as being the bigger feasting meal than Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah, at least for us, I think it is. Thanksgiving is more about it's still about friendship and friends and Friendsgiving, things like that. But at least in my world, Thanksgiving was always open door. Anybody that didn't have family or didn't have a place to go was always welcome at my parents' house. When I went to college, I would be calling when I left college an hour away and say, I'm bringing 3 people home with me. They couldn't go home for Thanksgiving. And Mom would say, no problem, I set the table for 12. There were only 3 people in my family. So it was all hands on deck for Thanksgiving, and just about friendship and fellowship, and food. Definitely about the food. We joke about buffet pants in our family, that Thanksgiving requires buffet pants because we eat so much.
Stand-o-matic.
Exactly. Gotta have that. All right, I got a little aggressive over here on my aspidistra, and it is trying to vacate the premises, but I will fix him a little bit later. All right, I have a little bit of a hole here to fill. Anybody popping in on that color harmony?
We're getting across the board on things, which is kind of interesting. So far we're triad, complementary, and polychromatic.
Okay. Well, one of you is correct.
Well, there's multiples on each.
Okay, well, one category is
There we
correct.
go.
One of those answers is the correct answer. And it's polychromatic. Oops. Because I am kind of all over the color wheel in an unplanned, planned manner, right? So added a little bit of that red violet in there to pull down the color from the liatris. And I'm just trying to decide if I want a little bit of the, kind of do, go big or go home, right? Want a little bit of the status on the opposite side. Like I said, I kind of color blocked, although I have orange over here, which would be here. So I feel like since I have my purple, my violet, no purple on the color wheel, my violets and my blues on the left side, I kind of want to pull that across to the right side so it offsets my orange that's over there. So we're going to tuck those in with the aspidistra that is not behaving. I think these are Carolyn's aspidistra. I heard her chastising the aspidistra earlier today in the design that they're working on. So I think she gave me the problem leaves back again.
So Scott figures you need some orangium in the back.
I could do a little, I have some orangium somewhere. It's kind of the wrong color.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not correct orangium.
It's the greenish white, and it's a little anemic looking. It's like low iron. It's not really green, and it's not really white at this point. So it would give me great texture in the back. But I think I may just tuck a little bit of Oregonia or something in there to conceal the mechanics if I need to. I don't really want to fill in with foliage. I like the little bit of openness, the transparency, so you can see through it. Obviously you can't see all the way through it, but I like that little bit of openness. It does help with depth and makes it just a little more interesting. And of course, I don't have my feathers in yet, because everything is better with feathers. All right, as I look at that, I need to adjust my angle a little bit on those. Designing sideways is a little awkward, I will tell you. All right, so there we go with those guys. And now I want to tuck in just a few of those feathers for that little bit of whimsy, that little bit of fun, because I can. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. And this helps pull that gold from the urn up into the arrangement. I don't really have anything organic down here, but by working this color into the arrangement, I feel like that helps a little bit. Ooh, I really like these, but I don't think I need the pokey outy bits quite as much. So let's look. Oh, this one's pretty, has some beautiful curvature on those feathers. So I'm going to tuck him right in here in the front. And I don't like him there. It's my prerogative, right? I get to change where I put things. It's my arrangement. And I think these are all too full and fluffy. So I think we'll use this one in the back with those roses, just because you should always finish your backside, and it's kind of like tail feathers, right? So there you go. Added those feathers in for a little extra movement, so if there's a little breeze from a ceiling fan, they're going to flutter some, and that's my contemporary take on a Thanksgiving buffet piece. How do you like it? You like that one?
They are absolutely loving it.
I'm going to shift this one out of the way. So any other chime-ins on least favorite foods for Thanksgiving?
You know,
guys were pretty
more
tame.
talking about your arrangement now.
Well, good. I'm glad. I hope that's a good thing. I hope it's a good discussion about the arrangement. So I did a classic, right? Just the cornucopia, very traditional colors. Then I moved on to something a little more fantastical, a little fun, more up my alley. And then I'm going to go back into something a little more traditional. This would be well suited to a very large round table, if you had one. If your table is more oval, this would be a good option in an oval basket. Right now I'm in a round basket, you'll see, and it's giving a very spherical vibe, right? The way the flowers kind of meld into the basket. Do you want me to pull this back a little bit, Ricky? Is that better for them to kind of see the...
We can see the bottom of it now, but
okay.
When it's up front, we see all the flowers.
Okay, cool. So I have just a couple of stems I want to tuck into this one. I have some spring roses in here, and this, Leanne, would you call this a mille fleur? Because of the variety.
Yeah.
It's not really as close packed, but it does have some of that same million flowers vibe to it. And I didn't really think you needed to sit here and watch me poke 407 stems of flowers into something. So
it is an abundant arrangement.
It is an abundant arrangement, yes. So I just wanted to add a few more pieces in here that finished it off a little bit.
What are those?
This is kalanchoe as a cut flower. What, you say? Yes, you can have kalanchoe as a cut flower. He's going to be too long still. We're starting to see them more and more. We have them in the classroom this week for advanced. There's the lighter orange color. Whoops. Come here. These are healthy stems. That was one stem of the kalanchoe. These are a more red-orange versus the yellow-orange that I'm working with on the others. But for me, this would be a great centerpiece if I had a lot of people coming for Thanksgiving. Obviously, my table would need to be quite substantial at that point. But this has a hidden surprise. What? A hidden surprise? Tell us more, Michelle. Okay, I will. So a lot of times you'll do an arrangement or lots of little arrangements. Maybe you'll do napkin favors or place card favors or something like that. And if you don't have something in the center of the table, sometimes it feels maybe a little underwhelming. So I was trying to reimagine that same concept, but to do something different. So guess what? All the way around the perimeter are little individual take-home arrangements for your guests. There are 12 of these little clay pots that are filled with the same mix of flowers that we have in the big arrangement, and I've designed it so that they just roll right down into the little perimeter of pots. And at the end of the evening, you can send your guests home with, I'm going to lift the center bouquet out so you can see the mechanics. So instead of starting with nothing and building up, I'm going to deconstruct this so you can see how I got to where I am. So in the center is a plastic clay bowl with a centerpiece that on its own, with a little adjusting for angles and materials, would be just fine. And then in my basket, I have turned a loamy tray upside down. Whoops, stay here, dude. Or don't. We'll just remove him since he wants to roly-poly. So there's just a loamy tray upside down to elevate that center and give me a place for the clay tray, and a little bit of moss to soften that, hide that plastic in there that can be a little shiny, and also give a nice cushion for all 12 of those little arrangements there. So at the end of the night, your guests, when everyone's getting ready to leave, you can send them out the door with their little Ziploc container of leftovers and a cute little flower arrangement for them to take home. This is just the perfect size to go by your bed, to go in a restroom, in your powder room, if you're somebody who actually has counter space in their kitchen, you might tuck this next to the coffee maker or next to the salt and pepper or whatever you have in your kitchen space. But I thought this would just be a fun way to reimagine a breakaway centerpiece that still leaves the host or hostess with a floral arrangement and sends the guests home with a cute little favor from the day. So what I did here, these are real clay pots. They came in a 3-pack. Leanne, I think you got these online at Amazon.
I think it might have been the dollar store.
You're right, it was the dollar store. Yes, thank you. So you check in your local area. Amazon usually has everything, but if you can get it locally, even better. And then what I have here, I'm just going to pull this out. That's why I left one undone. So technically there are 11 arrangements and one mechanic in progress. I took just a little bit of plastic, like we get on our flowers, our plastic sleeves, and I just cut that into chunks and then put that into the pot with a little chunk of the Midnight Oasis. I liked how it disappeared a little bit more into the arrangement. Just gave it a nice little push down on there. And then I beveled the edges just like we would normally to get rid of, looking for scissors. There's a pair, hopefully. Beveled the edges to get rid of the corners because you know it's hard to insert flowers into the corners. And then I'll just come back with scissors and trim, or maybe not, there we go. These are definitely not ribbon scissors, which is good because only ribbon with ribbon scissors. Otherwise they become kitchen shears. So I'll just come along and trim off that excess plastic so that it doesn't show, or as best I can do that. And then I have a watertight container that I can then design my flowers into. Now, I could also use Flex Seal and paint or coat the inside of the pot with that, but these are legitimate little plant pots, so there's a drain hole. So it was kind of like, do I plug the hole and then paint it, and needed so many hours to cure. It's like, it's taking too much time. Plus, if you have plastic wrap at home or a garbage bag, you could do the same technique. You wouldn't have to go to the effort of sealing it. Now, if I were in a flower shop and I were marketing these cute little babies in sets of, say, 4 or 6 as favor flowers, I might do that. I would probably go to the effort of plugging the hole and then sealing the inside of the pot. I think it's a little more professional at that point, the professional application of the Flex Seal inside versus the plastic wrap. The end result is the same, it's a waterproof container, but if the customer went to add some water to it, I think they would be better served having that watertight inside on the clay pot itself. But I thought these would just be super cute individually as favors at the table, but even better if I could combine them into one big arrangement. What do you think about this one? You think you might try something like this for your holiday table? You could do this for Christmas too, right? I've done it in fall tones, but why couldn't you do it with evergreens and little Christmas baubles, like the little baby, I don't know why they call them millimeter balls. I mean, I do, because they're measured in millimeters, but that's so not sexy. I have a 2 millimeter ball that I'm putting in this. How about, ornament picks? And that still doesn't sound very good. I don't know. We need a better name for those, I think. But you could do this with evergreens and a Christmas themed or a wintry theme. And then this little guy just pops right back down inside. I don't have him in the exact same spot that I had him before, I noticed, because things aren't lining up as perfectly as they did before. But now I have my centerpiece back together. So
that one is getting so much love.
Good. I thought this was a fun one. I always love to come up with something that's a little left of center. Surprise! Who knew that Teacher Michelle was like that? But again, at the same time, I know that we have a lot of folks who are very traditional, and they like a very traditional, let's put that over here for a change, look at the other side of it, a very traditional design. and something a little more contemporary, a little wilder, a little crazier, a little more fun. So as we close out the hour, tell me, which one was your favorite? Classic, contemporary, or breakaway? I'll take a check at what you have to say later on today and tomorrow. I hope you had a fun hour. I had a fun time being here today. We won't see you next week. Are we doing live next week?
No.
No. No live next week. All right, so we won't see you again before Thanksgiving. So have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you after we roll into the following week. So have a great time, tulips. Bye.